Well, with all the protesting that's going on and the bad news that's coming out everywhere, you got police violence escalating everything, the president threatening to send in the military, violation of the First Amendment. Hello, genius. I wanted to give you all some positive things today. I wanted to talk about something that I've been thinking about a lot. It's an idea that I've got for our voting system. Now, of course, we've all heard about the mail-in voting. California just declared it was a vote in by mail state. Other states considering doing the same thing because of the pandemic. I hope they go through with it. But I think something else should be taken into consideration, and that is voice voting. Now, we've heard about this before once, and this is when Congress passed the first stimulus bill, more like the highway robbery bill, but they did it over the phone. They all voted with their voices on their phone. So it's not a matter of somebody else just writing it down on a piece of paper. Okay? It's not a little ledger saying who voted what. Because let's face it, if you do that in a room, this person who is up on here on this podium writing everything down can just say, someone says yay, they say nay. So easy for them to do that, right? So I have a better idea here. It's called voice voting. Now, the way this works is pretty simple. We do it all the time anyway. You want to call your doctor to make an appointment. You want to call to refill a prescription. You want to schedule something else. You get on a conference call with a meeting and stuff, those kinds of things. That's what I'm talking about. We simply apply that technology and that process to voting. Here's how it would work. You call a certain line in a certain time span. I'm thinking maybe for state races 1 week, federal races 2 to 4 weeks, depending. Maybe for like House and Senate, you could just do it for 1 to 2 weeks, okay? But for the presidency, I would definitely do it for a whole month, just so everybody has a chance. And the beauty of this is that it can fit into your schedule at any time. If you happen to be working on the day of the voting and you can't get the time off, on your lunch break, if you're just going to the bathroom, you step outside for a smoke or whatever when you're on the job, then you could just use your phone, call it in, go through the process, and you've just voted. No problem, right? And it's your voice. Your voice is distinctive to you. It's a lot harder to rig. It's a lot harder to fabricate. So it's much more solid evidence as to how people vote. Now, how would this work technically? How would it roll out in the phone process? Well, you call the number, and then it says, supply your information. So you give your name, you would give your address, including your zip code. You could give either your phone number or your driver's license, whatever. And then they would pull up your info and see if you're a registered voter. Now, it would tell you whether or not you're a registered voter. And if you are, you can proceed. If not, this is why we need same-day registration, or even just automatic voter registration by constitutional amendment. That would be amazing. But this way, you could basically say, okay, well, now you're a registered voter. And then it says, here are your choices. Well, let's make it simple, okay? So far, we only have 2 presumptive candidates right now, maybe 3. So let's go with 3. Let's say, okay, your choices are, who would you like to choose for president? You can either choose Joe Biden, Democrat, Donald Trump, Republican, Howie Hawkins, Green Party. Now, if you wanted to, you could say it, you could either say Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Howie Hawkins, whatever, and when you speak their name, you would hear that, thank you. Are you sure you wish to proceed? Something along those lines. And you could either confirm or go back. So you can confirm your vote or go back and change your vote. But once you confirm that vote, you've cast your ballot. And that's all that's needed. But they would repeat it to you. They would say, thank you. You have voted for Howie Hawkins. So let's just say that's the case. And you could say, is this your final choice? You could say yes or no. And if you say yes, bang. That's it. That's how it works. And that's the beauty of it. I mean, you're not waiting in line. So during this pandemic, this is definitely a good idea. And also because paper ballots, once you lose them in the mail, once you submit them, They're gone. You'll never see it again. How do you know what happens along the mail process? You really don't. Just like when you put your ballot into that machine, when you go and vote in person, how do you know what that machine's doing? You don't. You don't know if it's counting a certain way. It's already been proven that you can use the hardware and the software in those machines to rig it a certain way. That's already been proven. So this is a great way to do it because you're using something that is a unique signature only to you, your voice. Your voice is so much harder to fabricate, and it's a lot harder type of system to rig. And if anything goes wrong and the results are challenged, and if you need to, you'll have you'll be able to provide evidence that you voted for a certain candidate. So there you go. Voice voting is a great way to bring American democracy into the 21st century. I know some people are feeling a little bit despondent about democracy right now with everything that's going on. I mentioned the military threat by Trump. That's unconstitutional, by the way. Just a little bright piece of suggestion here. This voice voting should be something that we should be discussing along with the mail-in voting. So it's just that simple. You know, when the time comes, just dial in the number, go through the process, cast your ballot, whatever your schedule is during the day, and you're done. No waiting in line. No worrying about what the machines are doing. Your voice is recorded. You'll have a trail. You'll have evidence. And hopefully that moves us closer to ranked choice voting as well. So just something to think about, guys.